first thing we had to do is get three-dimensional models, perfect 3D models of the characters. In this case, we're going to do MS-158, where Mystique is masquerading as Wolverine. So the shot starts out with a live-action Wolverine and transforms to Mystique. We had to have full 3D body scans of all the characters, and they had to match absolutely perfectly to the proportions of the real character. So we started with, in the case of Mystique, who was played by Rebecca Ramjan Stamos, we used InSpec up in Canada to scan her body. This is the low-res baseline scan of Mystique. The most important thing we did was take the database of Mystique and the database of Logan and match them to each other, converted them to NURBS, made sure that they had exactly the same number of surface patches, that all the patches were in the same topological arrangement, all exactly the same parameterization, so that they could be blended from one to another. We knew that we wanted to do a 3D transform from one character to the other, and the most obvious choice in Maya, which is our tool of choice, because of its extensibility and the fact that we can add things to it if it doesn't do what we need it to do. We have used the blend shape before, and that works really good. We looked at what was available in there in the blend shape and realized that we could tie it together with Artisan and use Artisan as a tool to interactively paint from one character to another. This is a pretty powerful technique, and we initially thought that what we could do is manually go through and paint a bit and save a bit, paint a bit and save a bit, and make an animated sequence that would affect the heart of the transformation. Basically what I'm doing here is painting a value from 1 to 0 over these surfaces, which is very similar to a texture map. So we saw, hey, you know, if there's a better way of creating the texture maps than just painting it by hand that has more subtlety in it, we can map those texture maps back onto here, pipe them through Artisan. That way we get real subtle shadows that pass through there that would be really hard to animate by hand. So what I'm going to do here is show you how that works. When I click on this button, it frame by frame applies that sequence of maps onto that surface. Cool thing about that then is I can scrub through, and you can see how it wipes down across her body. Here is actually a in the bind pose movie file of the transformation. This was set up so that it would work in the context of shot 158, and we made sets of these for every shot where she changes. And we also then put that in the context of the move, and it becomes the heart of the transformation. Okay, so that's the heart of the whole operation. This allows us to control all the aspects of the transformation. We start with a live action character. We end up with a totally synthetic Mystique. We use this transformation to control the reveal of the synthetic character, the change of the shaders from the effect at the edge to the synthetic character. It also triggers a really cool effect, which was the emergence of her scales. All of that was procedurally driven by the edge of this transform. And so Maya provided us with the environment where we could build the tools we needed to extend its own capability into an area that was a little bit pushing the edge, and come up with something subtle and hopefully cool.